10 years ago we created a work while crossing the United States. We called it The Great Unreal. We dealt with our own preconceptions, with the myth of the American road trip, and the self-created image of America, the land of the free. A couple of years later we felt the urge to travel again and leave behind everything we knew. So we bought an old Land Cruiser and started driving east. It was important for us to stay connected to the ground, to have a physical experience at distance. All in all, we drove 50,000 kilometers from Switzerland to Mongolia and back. The world we encountered when we drove east is incredibly diverse and intense in many senses. Ancient cultures, the post-Soviet struggle, totalitarian states, nomadic cultures, industrial cities and vast untouched nature. The work that resulted from several journeys is not a documentary work, it is pure invention. It's a fabricated image, a reproduction of how we look, how we perceive, how we understand or misunderstand. In general, we see all images as fabricated. It is the nature of the image. Be it with some form of post-production or framing or simply with the intention behind it, there is no neutral in the image. Basically, we want people to be curious and explore and think about what they see and what it does to them. We've been working with analog photography since we started. It's a technical limitation that helps us to focus and concentrate on what we are doing. Some years back we started making films, so it made sense to use 60mm to continue with the same limitations. One of the first things we did was to film people. We never photographed people. It simply didn't work for us. With film it became different. Exposing 24 frames per second instead of one seemed to transport more of the life, because you see it blink and breathe. While working on the series we visited museums to see what was stored and collected from the part of the world that we had traveled through. We were lucky to receive permission from the Ethnological Museum in Berlin to work with their collection. They have over 2 million objects. We decided to photograph the objects physically placed on photographs that we had taken on the journey. It felt like bringing them back home. It was like closing a circle, and it became an important part of the series. For this current exhibition we are combining slide and film projections for the first time. It's a challenge for us to try something new. One beautiful aspect of projections is that apart from the machinery, the visible image remains immaterial. It's just light reflecting from a wall. And it's close to how we see the world, with the retina being the projection wall. Sometimes you just look out of the window, scratch the surface, and sometimes there's moments of profound understanding, mainly of yourself in relation to the world. In 100 years, given that our civilization and this work still exist, people might compare what they see to their present time, and mourn the good and beautiful things that vanished, but surely also laugh at the stupidities and naiveties of the time and praise their own improvements. It hopefully becomes a preserved way of how somebody looked at the world at a certain moment in time.